Hello, and welcome to another game development broadcast for Project CSK. As usual, of course, I am the creator of the project, and the online name that I go by is Des. We're going to continue working on the project like we have been doing for quite a while now, and if you're a regular here, you know the routine. But for those that may be new, this is an ongoing project that I work on my spare time, and it's something I'm in the process of. It's something that I'm in the process of porting over from the Flash client version into the new Unity cross-platform version, which we're all looking forward to playing, and it's going to be really fun. But to put it in the shortest, I guess, sentence of sorts, what the project is at its core is it's a multiplayer game with different types of gameplay, and allows different types of interaction and different types of things for you can do. And the idea is to create something that is enjoyable, pleasant, and set a positive precedent. Because a lot of games out there I find are, I don't know, they seem to target a specific audience, and they do that really well. So I would like to, if I can, also target a specific audience, but set a positive precedent for other games, so that it's more of a community of players who have positive interactions and pleasant interactions and some fun and some laughs in the process. That's kind of my idea. How do we get there exactly? I'm not really sure. I just know that the way is forward, and the way forward is together as a community, right? But how do you move forward with the community? Well, that has a lot of challenges, and we'll address them one by one. As the development continues, I'll look into what kind of things make sense for the project that are realistic for a single individual to build, and continue to develop onto the project. Of course, it's meant to be challenging. The game is multiplayer. It puts players intentionally head-to-head in the game rooms to survival of the final individual, or in pet combat, or in the world defeating enemies either versus each other or cooperatively. So it is about strategic combat, coordination, and playing with your friends and having a good time, learning, understanding the mechanics, and seeing how these things kind of affect the enjoyment of the user. It allows me to get a better understanding of the trajectory that we're going, and be able to adjust it where I see fit, so that we can continue to move in a positive trajectory of something that I can continue to be happy about, and continue to be looking forward to work onto in terms of the project for a very, very long time. But anyway, so where are we right now, though, in terms of the development? I was working in the previous broadcast, I was working on the particle effect explosion of when the explosive candy blows up. And that's something that I was still working on during the weekend. I made some good progress on it, and it definitely turned out well so far. And it's something that, in my opinion, looks very satisfying. And I'll show you what I mean. But we're still working on that, though. I need to get it properly working. The finishing polish and aesthetics of it, I'll be doing that later. For right now, I needed a conceptual functioning, but also good-looking cloud kind of poof explosion, so that we can implement it into the game and see how does it work, how well does it even perform. I've yet to test my ideas that would use particle systems with quads and other types of textures and combination of things, to see what kind of performance can we get, right? At what point are we pushing the capabilities of course, the mid and higher end mobile devices? They're going to have more than enough capabilities to be able to run and render this stuff without any complications. But it's the lower end, right? At what point is the cutoff? and how can that be optimized to allow a lower barrier of entry for lower and older end devices, which I happen to have some myself and I do testing on. So those are the kind of things that I'd like to figure out, because by figuring this stuff out within the game room, right, this will also translate. A lot of this functionality will continue over into the world part of it when we get into the pet combats and eventually the dungeon system and other types of things, which I will not get into because they're much, much, much farther down on the roadmap. But right now, the focus is the game rooms, and I want to see not necessarily how far can we push it, because it's easy to add stuff. It's more challenging to strategically add only what you need and decide not to add the things that you don't really need, but at the same time find a balance in the middle that allows for a very stylized characteristic of the gameplay that complements the mechanics of the game and has a good end user experience. Those are the challenges, and that's what I'm trying to work towards. So let's jump into it and see where I got it to on the weekend. Like I said, I didn't quite get it completed, but definitely made some good progress, and I'm pleased with the progress. And let's have a look at it and see kind of where it's at, right? So we'll go into the which object are we going into? It is the explosion. Okay. Not sure how I spelt that wrong. Okay. I'll just go to the prefab then. And I'm also starting to use my object pool system because it's getting to that point where it does need to be used. Thankfully, I had it mostly implemented before, so I'm just carrying it over and just making sure that it's using the right objects at the right time, and it is functioning in the way that it's supposed to be functioning. So let's see. I'm looking for resources, prefabs, 2D, explosive object. Oh, explosive, not explosion. That's why. Okay, so we go into this. We will go into the particle system. There we go. Okay. So this object, the particle, you can click on it. Now you can see it. And because it's always facing the camera, no matter what angle you're looking at it, it's always going to be facing the camera. Realistically, it's about roughly this angle. So this is the current particle effect, and it looks really good. It's very appropriate. I might need to speed it up or just reduce the overall duration to make it go a bit faster. But so this is when it's only at a singular. So what I needed to do is replicate it to be able to put another one on each one of the grid cell positions or tiles that the explosion kind of expands onto, right? So that's where the replicator effect came, or replicator prefab came in. And this is what allows us to take, in the future, right now, there's only one, but take any one of these types of particle effect explosions that meet the criteria of this and be able to replicate it in different patterns. So right now it only does a cross pattern. So the power of 3, you'll see what it actually looks like. So let's run it and see what it looks like. Okay, so here's our intro of when you're placing it, and then here's the explosion, right? So it's very satisfying, I think, and it's very appropriate. So this is, of course, with the explosion power of 3. We can always increase it or decrease it. Like if we went to power of, let's say, 5, right? So it's very satisfying. But I need to get it into the actual game, right, to be able to see it working and be able to kind of finalize that vision and see, yes, this is what I do want, right? And in the future, there will be different kinds of these type of visual effects and whatnot. So this is just one of them. I still haven't done the popsicle freeze one, which I also want to do using a similar type of concept of a mixture of the particle effects and something else to kind of get a nice visual aesthetic. But this is kind of the idea. So that's looking at it at the correct camera angle. If we look at it at a different camera angle, right? Oops, I ain't big enough to click on the button, right? We can still see it's always facing the camera, which I think is both kind of appropriate and funny at the same time. Because if you look at it directly, like from top view, right? It's still always facing the camera, which also helps you to visualize and see how it would look, right, from different angles of perspective, which I find very helpful. Anyway, so that's where I got it to. And I was right where I basically stopped working on the project on the weekend was right when I got it to the point where I was about to start implementing this explosion effect when a explosive has reached its timeout for it to trigger and explode. So that's kind of where we're at right now, and that's where I'm going to pick up from. So let's have a look at it and see kind of where we last left things off, because I know there are some challenges that I came across that I'm going to have to clean up to some degree. But first, I need to solve it to then backtrack and see what better solutions I can implement to achieve the desired functionality, and not only achieve it, but be able to have it be versatile so I can use it in the future for different types of effects, because that is the idea here, is to make stuff that's reusable. Okay, so with that said, you're caught up to kind of where we are. So let's go into it and see where we're at. I'll need to change scenes and go to the scene where I can get into the game room. So we'll go scene, game room. Okay. Let's just make sure this is the right scene. Okay. So that's our right scene, and then let's change and log in. So there's already a game room going. All right, so this is kind of where I left myself a note somewhere in here to continue here. There we go. That's my continuation point right there. Nope. A wrong one. Okay, it seems like I have an old one there. I'm not sure. Maybe it was from placing a explosive device somewhere. Let's try that. Okay, let's go with this one. Yeah, that's the right one. Okay. So what's the notes here? Use environment map, create explosive effect. Okay, so I did make that. Where was that? Create explosive object and create explosive effect. Okay, so there we go. Let's bookmark this. Actually, let's clear our previous bookmarks. We'll bookmark this because I know I'm going to be jumping to it quite a bit. Okay, so move loop into create explosive effect so we can track explosive tiles and prevent overlap of duplicate hot tiles. Okay, I know what that means. We'll need to get the bomb power. Okay, so we'll need to have that lookup capability, and then use object pool system and make sure it's working correctly. Okay, so I started using the object pool system like I said earlier. Set appropriate parameters to particle effect. Okay, so we'll be using the particle effect replicator, not the individual particle effects. Implement boundaries. Okay, so this is kind of where we need to do the stuff, is to implement the boundary system so that the boundaries of the environment actually affect the range of the explosion. So we do have this in the previous version. I should actually open that because I'll be referencing it. So I've already done this logic, but it's on a XY axis. It's not on a XYZ. So I'm going to have to translate that logic over to use X and Z instead of X and Y for the calculations. Okay. So we'll just wait for that couple more seconds for it to properly load. Okay, let's snap that out of the way. Okay, close that. Close that. Okay, so let's have a look at it. So from this point, what I got going is we have a loop. We have array data. And array data comes with, I think, only one value. Yeah, it should come with more. So note in future add explosive variation type. This is affected by the original explosive object. Instead of affected, let's put determined by the original explosive object. Okay, so with that, sound effect, no, I won't be getting into that anytime soon. Okay, so what we need to do is animate and recycle. Okay, so instead of animate and recycle, we need to change this logic. But before we do that, let's add the other stuff first. So we need to figure out what we're going to be doing. For now, variation won't matter. What we want is position, yes. And what we want is the ID. So let's go with, I think it's a string. Okay, so we need to pass in the ID so we know which one. No, actually, no. We're going to pass in the array. We're going to pass in the array. Yeah, so we'll pass in the full array. So if we're passing in the full array, how do we get position? Oh, we get position from the ID. Okay, so then we don't need position here. Let's move that down. So position will come from this. So then we're going to loop through that. Basically, we're going to do this loop right here. That's exactly what we're going to do. Is we're going to do this loop. So let's move this loop over. But instead of calling this, so we're not going to be doing this anymore either. So we'll completely take that out. Instead, we're going to be calling environment map dot create explosive effect. Why is it? Oh. that was weird. Okay, and then we're going to pass in array bomb IDs, and the variation ID, we're going to pass in nothing for now. Okay, so when it goes into here, then we'll do the loop here. And then what we need to do is get the start position. So we'll need to use the bomb ID, get the bomb object that holds the parameters for this object. And then from there, what we will do is, how are we going to do that? Yeah, this function needs to be renamed. Yeah, this shouldn't be create explosive effect. Create explosive effect is going to be something else. So move that there. We'll rename this function. This is explode objects, or something along those lines. I might rename it again, but that makes more sense to me. So that will explode the objects. The objects happen to be bombs in this particular case. I could even rename it and call it explode bombs. Yeah, explode bombs, because it's only going to be used in the game room for this one specifically. And those are always going to be bombs. So explode object bombs. Yeah, that's more specific. Okay, so explode object bombs. Wow, it is toasty today and very humid. I got the fan blowing and everything. I don't know if you guys can hear that. I think you kind of can. It's pretty low though. The fan frequency. So it's around -70. Yeah, you probably can't really hear it with the compression and everything. Anyway, so what I'd like to do here is, from this, I want to get the ID, or sorry, from the ID, I want to get the reference of the object. So let's get the object. Where's our explosive devices? So it will be explosive object inside of dictionary explosive. Let's jump to our bookmark. So explosive object. Did I not copy that? I must have done it incorrectly. So explosive object equals a dictionary explosives. Let's what? Get. Oh, right. My bad. Okay, and then we're going to go with bomb ID, right? But before we do that, I do want to do a check, just in case it doesn't exist. So we'll check if dictionary explosives dot contains key equals false. Continue. And then we'll output a debug.log. We'll go with generic functions dot format text color, our message, and generic functions dot color. Let's go with red. No explosive object found matching bomb ID. Okay, so that's just in case, and then we'll skip over that if it doesn't exist. Okay, so at this point we should have it. So then this object should also have the position. Nope, maybe not. What is this object? Extends from dynamic object. Is this a game? I think it's a game object. So then I can just use its position directly. Poolable object is for mono behavior. Yeah, okay. So I can just use that directly then. I don't need I don't need to get position start in that sense. So let's just comment that one out. Okay, so with this, what we want to do then is we want to get the power. So explosive object dot power. No. Explosive object. How do we get its power? Explosive object does not have a do I not? I thought I did store the I thought I stored the power of the explosion within the object itself. It wouldn't be at this level. It would have to be higher up. Let's see. Let's have a look at it from the point when we get it coming in. So bomb add. What does bomb add come with? Let's follow that. So we go to add, handle the add. Okay. So from here, we pass in power, environment map, create game room. Okay. So this is the creation. Oh, we're not using it. Power and type. Okay. We need to set that. We need to set power to create explosive object. This should return to us the object. Yeah, okay. So that returns it back to us because I don't want to pass more stuff into there. That's all I want is in there. So we'll say this explosive object equals that. And then we will say explosive object dot power equals power, right? And then what we'll go is in at this level, we'll set a yeah, let's make it a serialized field. I want to be able to see it and expose it. Private int, because it's going to be integer, it's not going to be a float, and we'll call it power. Default value of 0, Control RE, and then we'll use that to encapsulate it. I really wish I knew how to change this back to the original way. You guys know, let me know. I know I could probably Google it and find it, but I just can't be bothered with that right now. So power equals a value, and then we'll say power value changed. Yeah, I just don't like, I mean, there's nothing wrong with this method. I just really like this method of using the get and set. It's just something that I find personally what I like. Okay, so this one is going to be private void. Okay, so power value changed. And then this is for later. So all we need to do is just store it. And now that we're storing it, we should be able to access it later on. So let's jump back to our bookmark. That's why bookmarks are great. So from here, we can access the power. Yeah. Okay. So we have that. We have power. We have, what we need is the variation ID also does not need to be here. Yes, it does actually. It does need to be here. So we're going to be passing in power, variation ID, and position. Power, variation ID, and position. Yeah, I think that makes sense. I'll likely need to take some other stuff into consideration. Just for now, I think it's good. All right, so that's where this function should come in. What I want to do, actually, let's not over-complexify it. Let's keep it simple for now. So what we'll do is we'll just call private. No, let's make this public. I want this to be public so it's reusable. Public void create explosive effect. Right, so we're going to call create explosive effect, and we're going to pass in the yeah, okay. So vector3 position. So that's going to be the start point. Oops. So we have position, variation ID, and power. Let's put that before. Wow, I can't spell. I keep thinking of the buttons that I want to press, and I'm thinking I'm pressing them, but I'm actually pressing something else. I'm not sure how that works. Okay, so let's pass those values in. So what we need to do is pass in position first. So it's going to be explosive object dot transform dot. I think we're going to go with global position. Yeah, let's go with position because it's not going to be local. So we'll go with position. And then we're going to hand in the explosive object dot power, and then we're going to pass in the variation ID. Yeah. Okay, so from there we get to this. From here we want to use the object pool system. Get the next object explosion replicator. pass in params, and then explode. So that's what we're going to do. This looks okay for now. Did I miss anything? I don't think I did. Okay, so we want to use the object pool system, and we want to get the next available replicator. So how did we reference that? Where's the pool system? Replicator. How does that work? That's not right. This should be... That should be a different reference. I'll figure it out. Okay, so where's our replicator? Particle effect replicator. Okay. That's what should be here. So we've got particle effect poof, and we got particle effect replicator 0. I added 0 for now just because the names are going to change and I want to increment variations and keep track of it to some degree. Right now we're at 0, 0, 0 kind of thing. So all of this looks okay. All right, so what we want is replicator. So particle effect replicator equals, we'll use the object pool system, instance dot pool dot get I don't remember what that is. Oh, okay. Got it. Okay, so what we want is to go this dot replicator, I think. Isn't that how get works? Get iPoolable object. Oh. It returns the interface. So we need to, let's have a look at this and see, how do we get it? Yeah, so it's iPoolable object. We need to get the interface. And then from the interface, we get this. Okay, my bad. Let's duplicate that. So it's going to be iPoolable object iPoolable object, and then from iPoolable object we can typecast that into our explosive. So then that will turn into particle effect replicator. Okay. So then from there, once we have access to that, we can set the position of it. So we can say particle effect replicator dot transform dot position equals the new position. And then we want to say particle effect replicator dot power equals power. And then particle effect replicator dot variation ID equals variation ID. And then we want to say particle effect replicator dot explode. I thought it was explode. Does it not explode? Oh, it's play effect. Play effect and create effect. What's the difference? Create effect and play effect. I'm not sure I understand the difference here. I think one is old, one is new. I'm not sure. I don't understand what I was doing. So we got explosion poof. And we got flash freeze. Oh, this one is private. Okay. That's right. That's right. Okay. So yeah, we are calling play effect. Play effect. Recycle on complete. Yes, please. So that would mean using the object pool system. So we put it back in the pool once the animation is complete. That way we're not destroying them. So once it's created, it's cached, and it's meant to be reused. Okay, and when we say play effect, it should have visible equals true, I think. I don't remember. I think I need to set a flag of some sort. I forget what I need to do there. Okay, so this is what I think I need to do, though. So let's have a look at it and see what does this do when we do run this. Yeah, let's have a look at it. This at this point is still, it's not going to respect the bounds of the explosion. It's just going to explode. Null reference, object reference, not set to an instance of an object. Okay. What does that mean? $310. So that means this object is null. So create explosion failed? Really? Create explosion failed? That shouldn't. Oh. Yeah. It's not supposed to return null. Create explosive object, and then it'll return the explosive object. Okay. Let's see if it still crashes. Wow, it is toasty. Okay, no crash, so let's go with it. Okay, so we're in the game room. Let's make an explosion. Nice. It didn't get removed, but still, it was pretty good. Okay, so it's not recycling. It didn't crash, I don't think. Let's have a look at it. Okay, so it didn't crash. So why did it not recycle? Let's try that again. And this time we'll keep a close look at it too. So we'll go to game room, environment map. Okay, so that's our ground cubes. Okay, so let's make an explosion. Okay, and then explosion goes off. So that was the correct range. So where's our explosive object? Right there. So why did this not recycle at the end? So when it played, this looks fine to me. So what happens when we do tell it to, let's jump to that bookmark, create explosion. Oh, the actual bomb itself did not get recycled. The explosive effects and the particle system, those should have been recycled. Where are they? No. I don't see them either. Let's try that again. So we'll go to this one here. What is item ID? Okay, so those are items. Where's the ground cube? But where's the effects? Is it under here? Shockwave, explosion primary, particle effect, particle system. Okay. I think we need to look at it when it's isolated. Let's go back to our test scene. Let's play it here. So when we call explode, I see. I didn't actually want them to be nested under this one object. I mean, it doesn't really matter because it'll get reused again and again. But that's not how I was envisioning the pooling. I'll need to rethink that. 'Cause right now So they are reusing the same object, but if you have two of them, there's no guarantee that they're going to be used correctly in the way that I would like for it to be used. So I need to, and you can see, if I go multiple, we build a whole bunch of them, but it is pooled. So every time we go to use one, we're going to use the next grouping. So right now we're at that grouping, then whatever that next one was, and so on. There's that one. And then that one was this one down here. And then this one is this group here. Yeah, so I need to think about that for a sec. I can reparent them. So that way they're stored and they can be reparented. Yeah, I think that makes sense. So we can reparent them on recycle. Yeah, it makes sense. Let's do that. Okay, so what I want to do then is on where is it? I want to also carry them over. So I don't want them to be parented somewhere that they will be destroyed potentially. So where could we parent them under? Because I know there's one object that I have currently that gets carried over and does not get destroyed until the end, or more than one actually. So we got our debugger, we got our analytics, and we got our mono event dispatcher. So I could add another one into here. That's the object pool. So it will not get destroyed when we change from scene to scene. And I think that's ideal. It's definitely ideal. I want to do that. So then it'll continuously retain the pool. We can clear out, I want to be able to clear out different sections of the pool when we're not using it. Like for example, if you go to world, you don't necessarily need the pool of the bombs and the explosions of the bombs. You can clear those or leave them, and vice versa. I want that versatility. I may not use it, but I want that versatility. So let's add another one into here. That's going to be pooled. How did we make these? So mono event dispatcher is a class that gets created from where? I think it's called from here, if I'm not mistaken. So we have manager object pool. Where's that mono thing? I remember it's somewhere in here. Oh, it's in the event manager. Oh, wow. Okay. So we create a blank game object. Oh, okay. So we just don't parent it. That's how it ends up there in the root. Okay. We can do the same thing. We can do the exact same concept. Because all we need to do is just create it. And then this thing on start, yeah, on start it says don't destroy on load, and then that'll make it so it's persistent. And then we just need to remember to manually destroy it on exit. Where's the destroy? Oh, okay, so same location. Okay, so I'm basically looking at doing this. So we can do that in the object pool manager itself, because all we're doing is just creating a game object. Let's go ahead and create our game object. So private game object pool. We'll call it pool container. And by default, I like to leave things at null. I know it is null, but I like to just confirm that it is. Okay, so at what point do we want to create it? We want to create it on add, remove, where's the construct? Destroy, where's the construct? Let's go back to framework. Pool. Okay, so that's a destroy. We don't have one. Okay, so we need a construct function. And this is something that I just do. Of course, it's on a case-by-case basis, but this is something that I like to do because I get more control over the order of creation, order of execution, order of resources being allocated, used, and whatnot. That way I can delay the construct after, if I don't want to do it inside of this conditional creation. So from here then, what we'll do is we will create our pool container. So create pool container, and then we will say remove, destroy, clear, destroy. Let's be clear. Destroy pool container and all objects that go with it, of course. So we'll need to create those functions. Let's go to the very, very bottom. Okay. And then private void private void destroy pool container. Okay. And then if pool container equals null, actually, let's do it the other way. If it does not equal null, return it because it already exists. Otherwise, pool container equals new game object, right? And then position doesn't matter. Parenting doesn't matter, so it'll parent to the root. And I think that's pretty much it. I mean, there isn't really much. Oh, I do want to give it a name. Oh, I did reposition to center. Okay. I'll center it just in case. So I'll center it. Transform dot local position equals vector 3 dot 0. Okay, and then we want to say don't what was that called again? Okay, so one is going to be destroy. Let's do that first. If underscore pool container does not equal null. Oh, I did this one backwards. Didn't I? That's why I don't like doing reverse logic. It's so easy to get confused. If the object does not equal null, return. No. If it equals... Okay, let's just not do reverse logic. I can't think clearly. Okay, so if it equals null, create this game object, 0 its position. If on destroy, if it does not equal null, we want to say destroy this object and set its value to null. Okay. It'll have to be game object dot destroy. Let's double check that. Game object dot destroy. Yes, it needs to be specifically the game object. Okay. And then the other one that I forget is the don't destroy on load. I couldn't call it here. Don't destroy on load does not exist, so we'll need to go game object dot don't destroy on load, and we're going to pass in pool container. So when we do that, we just need to remember that this will be a persistent object in between scenes. It will always be there throughout the entire life of the application session. It'll of course get destroyed on exit, but I want to manually control that too. So this should be called after we clear the other objects, shouldn't it? No, it doesn't matter. It does not matter. Okay, so that's okay then. That's our object. So then when we add to pool then, so private void add to pool, it'll be poolable object, poolable object, and then what we will do is get the poolable object dot game object dot transform dot parent equals underscore pool container. Pool container dot transform, of course. Okay, so that means when we're going to add the object to the pool on success, we will call add to pool, and that would be the poolable object. Okay, so let's see how this works now. This should now funnel everything through that one persistent pool object. So let's see it in action. Chances are I overlooked something and it'll crash and I'll need to fix it, but that's okay. Okay, so yeah, we're supposed to name it. So when we go and create it, we will set the name to being pool container. Okay, so let's see what happens here. We go explode, and then they went under the container. Perfect. So let's have a look at that again. So it should now take it from the object pool, which is called new game object temporarily, should take it from here, nest it under this when using it, and then when it's done, put it back here for someone else to use it. So let's see that. Perfect. So let's create double. Okay. And there's our object pool. I think that's a success. So we'll just keep using the object pool, whatever's next in queue for that type. And that'll pool everything under that object pool. Okay, so I'm pleased with that. So we got it named. Now we can look at what else. So when we use the pool, we should be able to see everything under it. Let's run it actually. And go log into the game room and have a look at the game room itself and have a look at one explosion and see what was going on before. That's kind of odd. Oh, it crashed. That's why. What crashed? Game scene controller 423. List async task add. It failed on something. What is it telling me? So argument scene to unload is invalid. I don't know why, but okay. That's not very helpful. Okay. That's not that helpful, but okay. Let's try that again. So at what point does it crash? Okay, so at this point it's fine. Change scene, it crashed. Why? What is this crash? What's causing it? What is game scene controller? Okay, so that's loading of the scene. So it's happening somewhere in between the scene loading and unloading the next one. And since the only difference is the object pool system, I can only guess and say that's somehow related, and this is unable to determine what is causing it specifically. It's just not showing it. That's unfortunate. Okay. I'm confident it's the pool system though. So let's remove that. So we'll go back here, object pool. Instead of, let's go step by step. We will not add to the pool. We'll just leave everything as is. And let's see if that makes a difference. Okay, change scene, and it still crashes. Okay, let's remove or disable the pool entirely, or the parenting portion of it anyway. So what we'll do is go in on here, on construct, and on destroy. So we'll remove those, and that should hopefully get rid of that error. If not, I'm not sure exactly what's causing it. Nope, still crashing. Interesting. Scene to unload is invalid. Okay. What else did we change? Object pool, let's disable that. Let's go and what else did we change? We called this, I wonder. Nope, that's named correctly. We changed, what else did we change? Game room. On handle bomb add, we called this called create bomb. Wait. This is called once from here and once from my test. I think something here's not quite working correctly. Let's disable this one. I think it's when I was adding those functions, I didn't quite test it clearly to see how it would affect scene change. And it seems like we're unable to properly diagnose an error. So let's go through process of elimination. Okay, so still crashing. Okay. Let's take this out entirely. Okay. Oh, I just realized what's going on. I'm changing from the wrong scene. I'm changing from my test scene. It's my test scene. I haven't, it's something I should have noticed earlier, but it's, I can't switch from my test scene. I have to go from the other scene, from the game room scene. From this one, I should be able to change swap. From the test scene, I didn't set it up in the way that I could switch scenes out of it yet. Okay, so this one, my character falls to infinity, and then click change scene, and then no error. Okay, that's what it is. I'll need to remember that. So I can bring all of that stuff back. Let's do that. So we'll go to pool, add, and then go this. Okay, so I need to fix that test scene at some point. Okay, so we redid all of this stuff. Can close that. I won't need that. Okay, this is restored. And let's test it out now. Okay, and if we say change scene, there we go. That's what I was supposed to be getting. I just didn't think about it. I should have. Okay, and then we'll go into game room. All right, we got enough time on this one. So let's create an explosion. And then poof. Okay, so we got, where's our pool? No pool. Got a bunch of null object references. Oh, right, we disabled the construct. Okay, that's why. Need to put that back. Construct calls create pool. Destroy will clear everything. Add will add to the pool so we can swap out the reparenting. Okay, let's do that again. How are we doing for time? Oh, wow. Time is just flying. I would like to get at least some of this functioning. Okay, let's do one quick explosion. Oh, she's toast. Okay, and then so there's our pool. There's all of the poof, but not the bomb. Where is the bomb? Yeah, I need to get all of this stuff to use the pool system. Everything that you see under here, everything under environment, all of this is supposed to use the pool. So all of these items that you see are supposed to be pooled so they can be reused. Otherwise, they'll just keep getting destroyed and recreated, which is, of course, not desirable. Okay. So this did not get pooled. Okay, so I need to look at that. So we'll go through it one by one. Where is my explosive object? When we call environment explosive object, when we tell it to update appearance, okay. Oh, we need to tell it to play explosion. We need to tell it to play explosion. And then by playing explosion, it'll play the animation on the animation complete, it will, instead of destroy, what we will do is call recycle. And that should put it back into the object pool. But then that also means we should be, no, I don't want to update. Thank you very much. That means that when we go to create it, we also need to be using the object pool instead of going through this directly or creating the instance of the object directly. So let's see, on recycle, what do we get? We get, okay, so that looks good on recycle. So then it comes down to creation. 9 references. Where do we create it? Explosive object. Let's go to the pool first. Is it in here? No, it's not. Okay, so that means it's not in here. We need to add it in here. Character model, environment object, no. Game room bomb. Okay, so that is specifically game room bomb, which is the old logic. So we're moving away from that. I think that's part of the reason. Oh, I'm not in the right state of mind, and I am cooking, just cooking. I can't think straight. My brain is like, I need another cold shower is what my brain is telling me. Okay, we'll just keep going a little bit longer. I want to see if I can figure this out now. If I can't, it's not a big deal, but I would like to. So let's go back to environment map. Okay, so let's change the brightness though. It's starting to get to me. Okay, that's a bit better. Okay, so environment map is what I want. Okay, so what is our explosives, the actual explosive? Environment dynamic object explosives is just an environment explosive object. Okay, but do we use the object pool system? And explosive object comes, no. It doesn't look like it. Yeah, okay, so this is where we swap it out to use the pool system. So instead of this, what we will call is framework instance pool get, and then pool dot explode. Right, I don't have it. Let's go make it. So right now we were using the bomb. I want to completely step away from that. So I'm intentionally going to break it so then I can fix it. Because that's using the old logic, and I want to remove, I think I have the old prefab and code too. I want to step away from that entirely. I should probably modify this a little to use more of the scriptable objects, but that'll be for later. It's just something that came to mind right now. I should definitely be using more scriptable objects where appropriate, of course. I don't want to place it somewhere that it doesn't naturally fit. Okay, so what we want to do is use primarily in game rooms. Let's go ahead and create public constant string. Nope, I meant to hit nope, and I pressed the wrong one again. Poolable object explosive object. Explosive object. Let's go with bomb, because we're going to be using the bomb specifically is what we're targeting here. So let's be specific, right? So it's going to be explosive object bomb, and that's what we're going to get. So to get that, we need to add that into our switch. Nope. So the function is going to be called create explosive object bomb. We are passing in object pool type. We need to create this function. Let's grab that and take it to the bottom. Maybe not that far. Okay, so iPoolable object. Okay, and then we'll just grab this stuff from here. And this is where I want to use scriptable objects. Instead of saying the prefab name here, I want to be able to drag and drop using just a scriptable object that has like kind of like a list, or maybe not a list actually, maybe direct references, but something that I can just drag and drop instead of modifying this code here to say here's the prefab that you should be using. I would like to do that. Okay, so this is going to be of the explosive object type is the main class. I don't know why I even need to do that anymore. Why do I even need to do that? Could I not get the interface directly? If I could get the interface directly, why am I calling it like that? I have no idea. This makes it a bit easier so that I can go change all of these too. And even simplify this later on. But I need the correct reference here. So right now, I'm just kind of, I need to wait for Unity. So I need to know where that prefab is specifically. So we'll go to prefabs, environment, 2.5D explosive object. So it is in environment. Can we right click and say copy path? Yes, we can. Perfect. Right up to here. Minus that. Okay, so now we have this. It means we can get the right object, because that object also has a prefab, or sorry, that prefab has animations that I do want to utilize later on. So by creating that, we should be able to call we should be able to say iPoolable object equals that I'm going to need. But what we're going to do is we're going to call this and then say explosion effect. No, that's the one that we want. Okay. And then from this, we can get the game object, and then we have reference to it. So we can change its name. It's the same object that we're going to be using. That's by design. It's a reusable, recyclable object. So we rename it, set the position in the transform and all of that good stuff, and add it back onto the dictionary. Wait, do we remove it when we destroy it? That's a good question. We need to remove it. Oh, right, of course. On explode, we remove it. On explode, we remove it from dictionary. Otherwise, we would get duplicate entries. So explosives, if it contains key, explode bomb, blah, 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 blah. Explosive object. And then we call this dot play explosion. And that will play the explosion animation, and it should recycle it into the object pool. So let's have a look at that and see if it works. I'm pretty sure I overlooked something, but still, let's see kind of where we're at, because I'm not thinking correctly right now. It's pretty much end of day. Like I said, I am cooking right now, temperature-wise. Oh yeah, it's hot. Not just hot, but it's humid. So let's change scenes. Log in here. We have just enough time in this round, so we should see an object pool, and I want to see specifically in the game room environment, I want to see the object being created there and then being removed. So created, not what I was thinking. Did it not get created? So when I create one, it should have been created at the bottom of the list, but anyway, pool, not there either. Okay, so not working. Maybe it's up at the top somewhere because of the sort or something. No, it would be at the bottom because it gets added by index order of child, not sorting order. So where does it go? So let's go like this then. When we go and create it, what are we naming it actually? That's a good question. When we create it, we're calling it explosive explosive object. I was looking for bomb. Okay, let's go over here and see what do we have for explosive object. That's where it is. Where is it? It is in, oh, it has no parent. Whoops. And it is in the loading scene. Ouch. Okay. That's not where it's supposed to be. It needs a parent. The parent, I think I forgot that line. So we're supposed to set create explosive object, but we're supposed to set the parenting to create explosive object. Right here is where we would set parenting. Oh, yeah, okay. So before we were setting this dot transform as the parent. That's why it was coming up in the right place. And now we're not, right? Because I just literally changed that. But what are we using for the parent though? Do we have a dedicated one? No. So we're just using this. Okay. So that's what we need to do then. Let's go back to, wait, where's my bookmark? I literally bookmarked it just now and it's gone. That's one of the things with when using Visual Studio to keep in mind is that the bookmarks that you make in the code, sometimes they just don't retain. I have no idea why. So here's my other bookmark, but then where's the other one? I should have 2 bookmarks right now. So whatever. Not a big deal. Thank you for the follow. I appreciate it. Feel free to say hi. I don't mind. I do this to give you guys a behind the scenes look of what I'm working on. If you have questions, of course, by all means, let me know. I'll do my best to answer it. Okay. Wow. I'm so just cooking right now. I think I do need to take a second shower after this. Okay, so what I want to do is set it on, not there. Where's that line that I set? Right here, set parenting. I'm pretty sure I bookmarked that, but okay. All right, so what we want to do is on creation, we want, or on obtaining it from the object pool, we want to set transform dot parent equals this dot transform. And then we always want to make sure to set position after transform because that messes it up somehow. Always set position and scale after parenting. Never do it before. It's a lesson I learned the hard way and I still make that mistake. Okay, so when we do that, let's have a look at it. Now it should be parenting correctly. Whether or not it's going to use the object pool correctly, I'm not really sure. But we do know that the particles from the explosion, they do use the object pool. So that's definitely a good thing. So let's try that again and see what it looks like. And there's our guest star, the barking dog. You guys can for sure hear that, right? Yeah. And then there's the owner telling the dog to shut up, as usual. Yeah. Can you imagine that at 3 in the morning for an hour straight? Okay, so going back to, okay, connection is available. Okay, so let's try this again. So we got our object pool here. We need to go into game room, environment map. So it should add to the bottom here. And then when it pools, it should go under the pool. So let's have a look at that. Okay, so it goes poof. Okay. Explosive object here. But it didn't go into the pool. But the explosion particles that made that explosion, they went into the pool. Okay, so what happened to it? And where is it? It's still there. Why is it not visible? Oh, that's because it played its animation. Okay. So it played its animation, I think. Does that make sense? I'm not sure if it does. Okay, let's do it standalone. What we'll do is we'll go back to the test scene. Okay, so same idea. Game room, environment map. Okay, so it should add, or sorry, the explosive object should get removed from here and go into the pool. So let's go ahead and boom, and no. The particle effects, they went into the object pool, but the bomb did not. So let's have a look at that, because there's clearly something that's not right there. So this, when we tell it to play explosion, oh, this is not going into the pool. Okay, but it does say play animation 0 specifically. So on complete, though, it should register handle complete, and it should call back to this. Let's see if this is being called. So animation ID, and then let's try that and see, do we get the completion event callback? I think that might be it, because if it does, then it should call recycle, and recycle should put it back into the object pool. So let's see what that looks like. No. So I think that's what it is we need to go into the prefab and make sure that it's linked properly for, yeah, okay. So the animation curve, so animation property group. So these are the animations, of course, done by script. This is my own custom class. There is no completion. So we need on complete. This one here should call back to this here, and it should call that function with 2 parameters, handle animation complete. Okay, so now on complete, we should see it recycle. Okay, and then if we click, let's expand this here, expand this, nope, wrong one. This is the object. So this is our object right here. This should go under pool container. And it did move. There it is, right there. Nice. Okay, so that was it. I forgot to link the event in the prefab. Okay, so that also means, though, that I can't trigger it, but the object is not there anymore. However, we are pulling explosion-wise from the object pool. So that works well, I think. Yeah. Just can't click it fast enough. But they are re-nesting under this, and then they go back into the pool after they're done. Okay, so with that then, it should be reusable. However, I don't have a restore, because when it plays the animation, it's in a state of animation complete. It's scaled. It's multiple quads. They've all played their animation to the end, and that's the state they're at. So I need to restore them to the original state. Or do I need to? I don't think I need to. Let's just see this in action and see how it works. Let's go back to the other scene. So we'll go game room scene, and then let's try it and see. Okay, we'll log in. Okay, so logged in. I want to expand this stuff specifically just to see, okay, the very bottom here and the object pool. All right, so let's go ahead and create a bomb. Okay, so it goes to the bottom. Poof. Okay, and it went into the object pool. Nice. Okay, so if we go to place another, it should reuse that one instead of making a new one. And yeah, not exactly. Okay, so it did reuse it, but the state that it was in the disabled state. So I need a restore. When I pull the object from the object pool, I need a restore. And I should add that into the object pool interface, add it to the base class as an override function, so then I can override it in the extended class and make it do whatever I want it to do. Or I could just leave it in the base class and have, yeah, because it's not going to do much. And then if I need to override it, I can override the function and then say base dot whatever function name in the base class. Let's do that. Okay, so we'll go into here. We'll add a restore. So it'll be a public void restore. It won't take anything. So this is when restored. No, let's do a different. Called when retrieving an object from the pool, restore should set to original state, right? Okay, and then we'll go to poolable objects. So this is our base class, and we will make a what's it called? We'll make a protected. No, it'll need to be public. Public virtual void restore. And restore, I think, is visible equals true. So I have visible, but I want to, because this is easier to remember, is to say restore. Okay, so then in the, oh, did I close the interface? I closed it, didn't I? Nope, it's still there. Okay, so restore is, yeah, okay, so that's fine. Okay, so then when I go and I pull it back, or sorry, when I go to reuse it, and I get it from here, I want to, before doing these, first thing I want to do immediately after pulling it is I want to say restore. Call restore first, and then what I want to do is go into because I want to restore the animation stuff too. Because this restore at the base level, it just sets visible. So if I go from this point then, and I say, how can we do that? We can say, but I want it to be reusable. I don't want it to just be this. No, I can't. It's going to be too specific. Yeah, it'll need to override. Okay, so then here's what we'll do. Do I have any overrides here? I do. So I have one override there. I'll put this one right below it. So we'll say public override void restore, and then we call base.restore first, and then we restore to the original state of animations. So we need to go through the animation property curve dot nope. No. We need to reset it. What do we modify? I need to see what we modify. We modify transform. I think that's all we change is transform. But we change transform on... We change transform on what? I need to have a look at that. So explosive... Right there. I'm looking at it, but it's just not registering. Okay, so we got two. One is the intro, which is fine because that's irrelevant. That'll always restore to the state that we want. So then we have the position XY, which we're not using. And then we have the exit animation. This is the one that we need to restore. So we're doing scale XY. Okay, so I'm just going to note this. You won't see it because it's off screen. So scale X, Y, scale Z. Really? Oh, right, for the shadow, of course. So we're doing scale X, Y, Z on container primary. So I'll need to restore those. And then on shockwave, so on shockwave, we're doing scale X, Y, and alpha. Okay. Okay. So that's what I need to restore. And that'll set it back to its original state. Ideally, the animation class should be able to restore, but I just don't have that functionality at this time. So I need to just, this is easy enough. I can do this. So we have shockwave. So we have shockwave is, I don't know if that's the right object. Okay, so that is the right object. And then we want container primary. I don't know if I have that reference. Oh, we do. Game object shadow parent. Not a very good variable name to use for that. That should just be container primary. Okay, whatever. So that one would be the I don't think I have reference to it at this point. I need to make it either a protected function or we need to access it another way. But either way, so explosive shockwave, this dot transform dot local scale equals new vector 3, and we'll go 1f, 1f, 1f. Okay, and then that dot alpha equals, I don't think I need to do alpha, because alpha, it's a part of the animation. I just need to restore, actually scale is also a part of it. I don't think I need to do either one of these for shockwave. I think I just need to do scale on container primary, but I need to get access to it though. What is this shadow object thing? Let's go back. So from here, game object shadow parent, yeah, that should really be container primary. But if I change the name, I might break a bunch of stuff that I don't want to break right now. So I think I'll just go with this for now, and then I'll leave a note, change name to parent container or something else. Oh, this will likely break some stuff. Okay, so I just need access to this. Can I get access to it? I don't have access to it. But what I can do is build it as a part of the base class. So I can say restore scale or reset scale or set scale. Yeah, set scale. Yeah, let's do that. That way I just call one function and it's accessible to any of the classes that I extend from this. So it makes it a bit more usable, but I also don't want to expose it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to make it a protected function. So it'll be protected void set scale XYZ. Default value will be n equals 1f. So then that will result in setting this. Equals new vector 3, n, and n. Why is that not working? Oh, right, of course. This dot transform dot local scale. That's what I wanted. Okay, so then what I'll do is at this point, what I will do is I'll just call set scale XYZ, and I'll just set it to 1F, even though I don't have to pass that in at this time. So by setting scale, that should restore it. So now we should have both the active state and the scale restored on reuse. So let's have a look at that. And I'm pretty much out of time, so I hope I got it. For those of you that enjoy watching me work on the project and seeing it behind the scenes, it would help me out a lot if you can show your support by just hitting that follow button You're welcome to join the Discord, of course. And I do broadcast on Tuesdays and on Fridays. I don't broadcast for very long just because I do this on my spare time when I have time. And it's something that is an ongoing project. YouTube, so you can watch all the way back for like 2 years now. It's a big project, so it's going to take me a long time to make, but it's something that I'm committed to working on. It's something I enjoy doing and something I enjoy learning from. So you'll see me working on it consistently with some exceptions. Once in a while I might miss a day or something. Okay, so let's have a look at this real quick. Hopefully I got it. And the pooling should work. The other stuff, I'll get them to pool later. But for right now, I just want to do this. So let's see. So we place an explosive. It goes boom. Okay. And it goes into our pool. Come on, pool. Okay, so there's our explosive. So when I go to place another, what happens when I place another? Okay, so we use it, I see it, and it goes boom, and it goes back to the object pool. Perfect. That's exactly what I want. So then with that logic, I can keep reusing the same bomb and the same animation because it keeps getting used in the object pool, and I'm not recreating any other objects. That includes the particle effect. So the next step here is to get the explosion to consider the boundaries of the environment that it's in. Because right now, if you have a big explosion, right, it goes outside of where it's supposed to go. You can see it's a pretty big explosion, but it's not supposed to go that big. It's supposed to stay within the confines of where it's at. And that'll make it look a lot visually, it'll look better. But that explosion looks pretty good, actually. I'm quite pleased with that. Poof. Yeah, I like that. Okay. Anyway, so I hope you guys enjoyed it. And if you did, definitely hit that follow button. I do broadcast on Tuesdays and on Fridays. When I'm going live, I will post on Discord, on Twitter, and on Instagram when I go live. So if you want to know when I go live, exactly when I go live, you'll see my post. You're welcome to join Discord. And the video, including this one, will be archived on YouTube. But that's going to be it for me today. So thank you for watching and have a great evening. I'll see you next time. Bye.